All right, man. This stuff just about over with me, man. Like, in terms of, I'm sorry, man. It kind of something in my chest. I got a lot of congestion today. So look, I just want to talk about this whole Donald Trump thing. When Donald Trump was like, if we stop testing, we'll get less cases. I mean, obviously, if you stop testing, you won't have any cases. So I mean, I decided to do a little bit of research into it, and basically, I came to find like this all plays in with Australia having like almost no cases. Like basically Australia came out, I think it was November 1st, October 31st, somewhere around then. They came out and it was like no new cases. And it was they've been testing like almost the same as they've always been testing. I mean, they testing been pretty consistent. But Australia came out with no daily cases almost since October 31st. Like here it is right here, and then let's show their cases. These are their daily tests per million: 1,400, 1,500, about 1,400 between October 26th and November 6th. Now, only reason it's significant that these dates are significant is because that's when they came out of their lockdown. Apparently, they were in the lockdown for a time period, and once they came out of that lockdown, this is what we had of it. So we come over here and let's look at the United States. Now, this is just a question I was wondering to myself. I'm like, okay, like, yeah, obviously, if you don't test that many people, you're not going to have that many cases. So I was, just looking into it to see, okay, Australia, see, they have the least amount of cases. Let's see if they actually testing their people. I mean, they testing their people about half the rate we testing, but at that rate, let's look at what our numbers are. At that rate, look at our numbers. We got 207 to 286. These are daily confirmed cases per million. This is how many cases we have every day. Now we just looked at Australia's cases, and what was it? It was about what was it? It was less than one. It was less than one case per day. Now we're looking at the US, our cases are almost 300 a day. And we can go over here and look at the tests. We're testing double what they testing on the daily. Now, I mean, we can look at this and say, well, these numbers are anything. I mean, I know it was a lot of people coming out saying, oh, these people, they want to get that extra money for saying it's a COVID case. So when they say, so anytime somebody gets a case, anytime it comes out that, anytime somebody's in the hospital for it, they want to get that extra money for the COVID. I mean, you could say all that. That's all conspiracy. When we just look at hardcore facts, I mean, really at the end of the day, it's just hard to say. It's hard to say who's actually there because there's so many things that play a part with it. Like I just pulled up a whole bunch of different information, doing some research. It's a whole bunch of things that take a role in this. Like if we look at this is an article by the New York Times telling us 430 people have traveled from China to the U.S. since the coronavirus surfaced. So this is 430,000 people who came into the U.S. from the origin place of the virus. So it's possible that they had some, that could have played a role in it. It's always a possibility. Stuff like this always could play a role in it. So we just got to keep our eyes open. I mean, personally, in the U.S., a lockdown ain't going to work. I just don't think it's going to work. I mean, people got that mindset, they want to be free. You can't just lock this country up. Like, the way people act here, you're not going to be able to get away with locking the country up, bro. It's just not going to work. But yeah, I just wanted to bring some news to y'all, man. It's just a neat little fact I found. Nothing too special, nothing too spectacular. I just wanted to debunk that whole if we stop testing, we're gonna have lower tests. I mean, if you stop testing, of course you're gonna have lower numbers. Of course you're gonna have a lower amount of cases. I mean, that's just how it goes, Now, I mean, the point that people make saying is, it's a valid point to say that, all right, we can go into lockdown and then a universal basic income. for however many weeks or however many months we want to do it. So people still have a way to take care of their business. People still keep them, economy going. That makes sense, but to a certain degree, people still don't want to be told what they have to do, whether or not they should be locked in. I mean, of course, China can get away with it. Look at China. China has almost no cases as well. Like, come on, let's look at it. I believe China's on here too. Let's look at China. China has virtually no cases. Well, they stopped showing I guess China don't have their information with this. But on this website, China has some information. Hold on. China virtually has no cases, or at least no new cases. According to what they got going, it's saying they have barely any new cases. Total deaths from China 4,000. Total new cases 17. Total case. I mean, is this believable considering they testing just as much as us? If we look at how many people test, they're right under us, only testing at 1 million less. They're testing at almost the same rate as us. I mean, they're testing at a much lower rate than us, but almost at the same numbers. I mean, I don't know. That's why it's just so much speculation with me, because it's just like you can't really tell. Like, we can't really say what should have been done, because look at the U.S. Our entire country. Let's look at the European country. Let's look at Europe compared to the U.S. Look at this. The entire Europe fits inside of the U.S. with the seas all included. So if we brought Norway down and we connected it in some way, we can make it happen. But look at that. I mean, that's why it's just so hard to say what should have been done, considering the fact that we are a large country. We can't just run our country like, say, Germany or Ukraine or Poland. We can't just tell everybody lock down and then it'll be no issues. That's why we had to leave it up to the state. And whatever the state decided to do, that was up to them. The state could have decided, let's lock down. And if the people in that state good with locking down, then it's just the same thing as if, that's like the European Union coming out and saying, everybody in Europe, lock your country down. We're going to keep y'all locked down for this amount of weeks. Poland and Germany might not be cool, even though United Kingdom and Ireland will be cool with lockdown. So, I mean, it's just a whole bunch of stuff like that. I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think, man. I'm out.